Good morning. This is Mike Schilder, Superintendent of the East Penn School District. Due to inclement weather, the East Penn School District will be closed today, Monday, January 26th. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered how the decision to cancel school is made? I did. That prompted this report. Who would I talk to find that information? I emailed our new superintendent, Dr. Schilder. I thought I'd start my search at the top. It turns out that he is the one who makes the final decision. I was only expecting to have emailed answers, but he said we could have a live interview. Awesome, right?
I imagine it must be difficult to make the decision about what to do when the weather is poor.
Yes, it is very difficult. And let me start out by thanking you for inviting me over here. It's my pleasure to be here, and I love doing this type of thing. So I'm excited as you are.
How do you decide when the East Penn schools will have a day off?
Well, that process starts about 4:30 in the morning for me. So I get up at 4:30. I come down in my pajamas still. I open up my computer. Usually the night before I've set up my computer and my snow closing procedure so that everything's right on my desk at home, ready to go. Actually, the process begins a little before that because I have people that are in East Penn District, because I don't live in East Penn District. I have people here who are actually out on the roads as early as 3:30. So they're on the roads, they're on the main roads, they're on the back roads. So the first thing I do at 4:30 is I make a phone call to that person or those people who are out on the road. And I said, and I ask them to tell me what they're seeing, what the road conditions are like from their point of view. And I get that report. The next thing I do is look at the weather sites. And it's not necessarily Channel 69 News. Because sometimes, to be honest with you, Aaron, Channel 69 News or any TV station has a tendency to get everybody hyped up. Oh my gosh, it's the storm of the century. Really, we're only getting 1 inch, something like that. So I try not to listen to that too much. What I really want to look at is the website from the National Weather Service is probably the best one. That's just data. There's nobody talking on it. It's just information, and it's pinpointed to what area you need it in. The third thing that I do is activate my computer for the email part of it, because other superintendents in the area, in Lehigh County and as far away as Carbon County, we're all emailing each other. And sometimes we're actually calling each other, but usually it's handled just with email. So I'm looking at what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is thinking, because they have people, like I do, road people, let's call them, that are on the roads as well. And it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? Well, I don't know, what are you doing? That's what the emails look like. And I have this information. Well, the weather service that I have has this information. Sometimes it's conflicting. All of what I just described is happening within probably 10 minutes. I'm getting all that information in. So at this point, let's say it's 4:45. And I have to start thinking about a decision because I really like to make the decision by 5 o'clock. I can go as late as 5:30. I could probably go as late as 5:45, but I like to make it as early as possible.
What do you find the most difficult part about dealing with the winter weather?
I don't like getting up early. I do not like getting up at 4:30. That's the most difficult part. The second part is it's a little bit stressful because you have the safety of children in your hands. So if you make the wrong call, and heaven forbid there's a bus accident, that's a stressful decision to make. So I always want to be safe, but I also understand the importance of coming to school. And if there's an inch of snow on the ground, this is where I may differ a little bit from some other superintendents. If there's an inch of snow on the ground, I think we should be able to drive in an inch.
Yeah. Okay, so some students like to have snow days. They get excited when wintry weather is in the forecast. Sometimes the weather changes, and we don't get what we expected, like earlier this week. Students could be disappointed. Do you feel any pressure to either cancel or not cancel school due to the weather?
Well, yes, I do feel pressure because of safety reasons, not because of reasons where children enjoy staying home. I don't feel pressured with that. But I will tell you this, I love a good snow day. People think that the superintendent or the principal or the teachers don't like snow days. Everybody likes a snow day. I like a snow day. I like a snow day. There's nothing more exciting than waking up in the morning and seeing a lot of snow on the ground, and the prediction is we're going to get a lot more, and the decision is clear. I don't have to worry too much. I make the decision, the call goes out, and everybody stays home, including me. And I put a fire in the fireplace, and I like that as much as anybody.
In what ways might the weather here in the Lehigh Valley in 2015 be similar or different from what you've experienced growing up?
That's a good question. When I was growing up, when I was your age, I remember some monster snowstorms. And I don't think it's just because my memory is different from when a kid. I don't think it was a couple of inches. I remember snowstorms where blizzards, where there were giant drifts in front of my house. And we had no electricity. I remember one winter, one time, we had a fireplace in my house. No electricity. It was freezing cold out. We all had to sleep in front of the fireplace. And I have a brother and a sister, so there's 5 of us, my mom and dad. We all had sleeping bags and we slept in front of the fireplace just to keep warm. I mean, it wasn't life-threatening. And then my dad had to walk a long ways, a couple miles, to go get bread and milk. So I remember really big snowstorms, and I grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Lower Bucks County. So my experience as a superintendent has been similar. I mean, I was a superintendent mostly in New Jersey. There were some bad snowstorms we had there, just as you've had some bad ones here. I don't see that much difference. Sometimes when Emmaus is getting 4 inches of snow, where I live, it's Milford, New Jersey, which is about 40 minutes from here. It's really not that far from here. Maybe we'll have 2 inches of snow, but sometimes it's reversed. And this past snowstorm that happened, actually where I live, got more snow initially than Emmaus did, or East Penn. So that's been my experience. It's been all over the place. I've lived through giant storms, and I've lived through little storms, and I've lived through those situations like we had earlier this week when we were expecting the storm of the century, and it didn't happen.
At first, I was a little nervous and kind of excited. After I met Dr. Schilder and he and I sat down together, I felt confident. I thought it went really well, and I thought Dr. Schilder's answers were quite different from what I had expected to hear. With Hawaii's beautiful weather, you might think schools are never canceled, but even schools in Hawaii have to deal with weather, like tropical storms and hurricanes. Such as last year on October 17, 2014, Tropical Storm Anna hit Hawaii. Schools over there were canceled, believe it or not. Sometimes schools can be canceled due to hot weather, like on August 27, 2013. Many schools in Chicago were closed because of heat wave.
I love a good snow day. People think that the superintendent or the principal or the teachers don't like snow days. Everybody likes it.